Hello, my dear students. Myself, Mr. Mangesh Bale. I am working as an assistant professor at Gokhale Education Society's Arts, Commerce and Science College, Jawar. In previous lecture, we have seen different sampling equipments and methods of sampling. Okay, so into the today's lecture, we are going to start the last part of this sampling chapter, that is the collection, preservation and dissolution of the sample material. Okay, so in this case, first we will see the collection. Collection of sample depends on the nature of sample, its physical state and chemical properties. In previous lectures, we have seen how to sampling our different sample material. That means our sample material will be present into the solid, liquid and gaseous state. Okay, so that we have seen in previous lecture. While sampling, we have to also consider its physical state and chemical properties also. Okay, now the preservation. While preserving the sample material, we have to keep four main points in our mind, or we can say considered for the preservation of the sample material. The first point is sample should retain its physical state and chemical properties. That means whenever we are sampling particular sample, at that time its physical state and chemical property will be the same, that will not change. Okay, the second point, it should not react with the sample container. That means whenever we are sampling the sample material and stored into the sample container, at that time it should not react with the wall of the sample container. Third point, the container composition should not change due to physical process like volatilization. Okay, that means when we sampling the sample material and stored into the sample container, at that time some physical processes or some changes will be happen inside the sample material. Okay, at that time the container composition also should not change. Okay, fourth number point, the components of the sample should not react with or among themselves. That means the component present into the sample material, that also will not change. Okay, or can say reactions will not happen in between them. Okay, these are the four points that we have to keep in our mind while preserving of the sample into the sample container. Okay, now we will see the dissolution of the sample material. Okay, dissolution of the sample material. The first point, the reagents selected for dissolution should not interfere with actual analysis. Like process of dissolution is usually accompanied by heating. Actually, the proper choice of various reagents and techniques for dissolving analytical samples can be critical to the success of an analysis. Okay, actually the reagent selected should dissolve into the entire sample not judge the analyte. Okay, the concentrated HCl, actually it is an excellent solvent for many metal oxides. Okay, as well as metal metals of more easily oxidized than hydrogen, and hot concentrated nitric acid, that is HNO3, concentrated HNO3 dissolves most of the metal with exception of the aluminum and chromium. That means aluminum and chromium will not dissolve into this hot concentrated HNO3. That means whenever dissolving the aluminum or chromium containing sample material into the hot concentrated HNO3, at that time these elements will not dissolve into this hot concentrated HNO3. Okay, so fourth point, concentrated sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4, has high boiling point. All of you know that is around 340 degrees Celsius. Most of the organic compounds are decomposed and oxidized at this temperature. That means many of the organic compound will be decomposed into this 340 degrees Celsius temperature of the concentrated H2SO4. Fifth number point, perchloric acid acts as a powerful oxidizing agent and attacks a number of iron alloys and stainless steel steels. However, violet explosion occur with hot concentrated acid. Hence, heating should be done in a special hoods. Actually, this type of heating will be done into the special type of chemical hoods. Mixture of aqua regia is also used for oxidation and dissolution of the given sample. Aqua regia, actually in this case the mixture of the acids will be used. Aqua regia mixture of acid is HCl plus HNO3. In this case, the ratio of this HCl and HNO3 is 3 to 1. That means suppose 3 ml we have taken HCl, at that portion we have to take 1 ml of the concentrated HNO3. That means 3 to 1 we have to take the mixture, that is called as aqua regia. It is also used for oxidation and dissolution of the given sample material. So hydrofluoric, last point, hydrofluoric acid is used mainly for the dissolution of silicate rocks. In this treatment, silicon is evolved as the silicon tetrafluoride. Okay. Now we will move to the decomposition by flux. Okay, flux. So what is meant by flux? Actually, the fused salt media is known as the flux. Okay, this is the definition of the flux. In this case, the sample is mixed with excess of flux such as alkali metal salts, is then fused to form a water soluble product called as melt. Fluxes decompose most substances by virtue of the high temperature required for their use, up to the 300 to 1000 degrees Celsius, and the high concentration of reagent brought in contact with the sample material. The most common fluxes used in the analysis are compounds of alkali metals. Okay, alkali metals like a metal carbonates, hydroxides, peroxides, and borates. Okay, actually, these materials is called as basic fluxes. Okay, basic fluxes. These are the examples of the basic fluxes. See the alkali metal, carbonates, hydroxide, peroxide, and borates. Actually, these are the some of the bases. So, yes, it is called as basic fluxes. So, into the acidic fluxes, we have pyrosulfate and acid fluorides. Acidic samples are treated with basic fluxes and vice versa. That means opposite we have to make. That means basic samples we have to treat with the acidic fluxes and basic fluxes we have to treat with the basic samples we have to treat with the acidic fluxes. The most common fluxes and their properties actually summarize into this table. See the table. See, first column is the flux, then nature of flux, melting point, crucible, type of substance. So first number flux is the sodium carbonate. Okay, this is the actually base. So its nature will be what? Basic fluxes. Its melting point will be 851 degrees Celsius, and the crucible which is used to heating our sample material with the basic flux, that is sodium carbonate, that will be made by the platinum. Okay, because platinum will not melt at 851 degrees Celsius, it require very high temperature. The type of substances like silicate, alumina, phosphates, and sulfates will be used. These are the total seven examples, or okay, the seven fluxes. Some of that the basic fluxes, some of acidic fluxes, and its melting point, and what type of crucible we are going to use while doing this dissolution of the sample material that they have given, which type of material will be used for this, or okay say crucible used for this decomposition they have given to us, and what type of substances that will be useful while decomposing the sample material, that also they have given into this table. Okay, thank you.